Okay, so the Critics' Choice Awards just happened, and wow, what a night. We're talking surprise wins, some questionable jokes, and a love declaration that basically broke the internet. There's a ton to get into, so let's just dive right into the moments that have everybody talking. So, here's what we're going to cover. First, that big public declaration. Then, an unexpected loss that had fans reeling. We'll get into the host's highs and, well, lows. And we'll wrap it all up with a look at the red carpet. All right, let's kick things off with the moment that took over, well, pretty much all of social media. After years of keeping things under wraps, Timothée Chalamet finally made things official with Kylie Jenner. So picture this. He just won Best Actor, which is huge. He was up against people like Leonardo DiCaprio. And then during his speech, he looks over at Kylie and says this. I mean, it's just a few words, but for them, that's a massive, massive public statement. But here's what makes this so interesting, right? The timing. Because just a few days before this, at the Palm Springs Film Festival, he gave this long speech and said absolutely nothing about her. Not a word. So the fact that he did it here, at the Critics' Choice, it just makes it feel so much more intentional, you know? And it didn't even stop with a speech. Check this out. On the red carpet, there was this moment that seemed almost, I don't know, perfectly staged to squash any rumors. You had Kylie and Timothée's co-star, Odesza Zion, just chillin', fixing each other's hair. It was a very clear, nothing to see here, folks, kind of moment. Drama over. Okay, so moving on from a huge high to, well, a pretty dramatic low, let's talk about what was probably the biggest upset of the night, which happened in the Best Supporting Actress category. So, this was the category everyone had their eyes on. You had Ariana Grande, who basically everyone assumed was a shoo-in for playing Glinda. She was the fan favorite, hands down. But in a total classic awards show move, the win actually went to the amazing Amy Madigan for her role in Weapons. Total surprise. And let me tell you, the fans were not happy. Not at all. Social media just exploded. We saw Ariana was robbed everywhere, the wrong which one. And, to make it even worse, this is actually the second time she's lost in this specific category. Ouch. Even the winner, Amy Madigan, seemed totally floored by it. In her speech, she was kind of like, I really wasn't expecting this. She knew people liked her character, but she was blown away by how much they loved her character. It's like even she couldn't believe she'd won against all that hype for Ariana. Right, you can't really have an award show without the host, stirring things up a bit. And this year, Chelsea Handler definitely did that. She had some really great moments, and then one joke that really did not land well. So let's start with the highs. First, she had this great zinger for Leonardo DiCaprio about his recent vacation. And it was perfect, super timely, super sharp. And the best part? The camera cut right to Leo and he was actually laughing. That's how you know you nailed it. And then there was this other amazing moment. It was so funny and just a little bit chaotic. She had this whole bit where she hid a ping pong paddle under someone's seat for a gag with Timothée Chalamet. And of course, who finds it? The one and only Kathy Bates. It was just one of those perfect, weird moments made for the internet. Okay, but then things took a turn, a really sharp turn. During one of her bits, she made this joke about Nicki Minaj, and you could just feel it. It landed with a total thud, and online it was an absolute firestorm. The backlash was like immediate. People online were calling it a cheap shot, a classless act. Some even called the whole joke racist and just completely uncalled for. It was for sure the biggest low point of her whole hosting gig. Okay, let's switch gears and end on something a little lighter, the fashion. Let's do a quick rapid-fire recap of the red carpet looks that really got people talking. For good reasons and, well, for other reasons. First up, Kylie Jenner. And honestly, no big surprise here. She stuck to what she does best, a super sexy, skin-tight gown that just shows off her incredible figure. It was pure 100% classic Kylie. Now, Timothée, on the other hand, kind of toned it down a bit from his usual wilder looks. He went for something more formal, this kind of cool, oversized suit with a real vintage vibe, a little different for him. And here's Leo. He was wearing this really nice chocolate-colored suit, but according to people who were actually there, his face told a different story. Word on the street is he looked super bitter after losing out on that Best Actor award. Tiana Taylor definitely went for it with this oversized YSL menswear suit. I mean, it was a bold choice, a real fashion risk. But a lot of critics felt like the super boxy fit just didn't quite work. A bit of a misfire. And you have to see this. This was probably the funniest fashion moment of the entire night. Actors Megan Stalter and Paul W. Downs showed up dressed as Timothée and Kylie. It was a perfect copy of an outfit they'd worn a few weeks earlier. Absolutely brilliant, and it went viral instantly. So when it's all said and done, it kind of leaves you with this question, right? When we think back on these award shows years from now, what are we actually going to remember? Is it going to be who won what award? Or is it going to be all these other things, the big declarations, the shocking upsets, the jokes, the viral moments? What's the thing that really sticks?